mamá y ven para gozar. Filiquichamboita con lo que le voy nadie cagua. Ahora yo quiero que todo el mundo aquí cante con nosotros.
Dile, Héctor, ese coro.
¡Anda! Y el coro dice,
¿cómo? Para que se escuche mi gente.
la le lo la y le lo la.
Somos ejemplos para el mundo.
Lo le lo la y le lo la.
Con este ritmo sabroso.
Ese es un moro.
Que somos una voz. Que se respeta mi gente. Vamos a votar.
A la y le lo la.
Que se valora mi gente. Que se valora mi gente.
No se oye nada, pero que más duro, ¿qué pasa? ¡Que se oiga! ¡Yo!
Espero que les haya gustado ese himno, nuestro himno latino boricua. Digo, voy a hablar específicamente porque veo que tenemos uno que dicen aquí que son boricuas aquí. Voy a hablar específicamente nosotros, bueno, no tan solo los boricos, nosotros los latinos, pero específicamente nosotros los boricos que estamos aquí. Que no importa si nacemos en la isla, si nacemos aquí donde nacemos ciudadanos de los Estados Unidos. No somos ciudadanos de segunda categoría. Aunque hay muchos que no quieran tratarla así. Vamos a unirnos, vamos a decir presente, por eso es que estamos toditos aquí, porque el futuro es nuestro. Los quiero, gracias.
Y de mi dolor ella se burló. Quiero despertar de esta pesadilla.
Gracias a Frankie Negrón.
Mis noches son frías. Si su cuerpo es
Bueno, seguimos con el programa. Nos estamos moviendo rapidito aquí porque mucho trabajo que hay que hacerse hoy, ¿verdad? Vamos a seguir tocando puertas. Tenemos a dos luchadores, un luchador, una luchadora que nos están representando dignamente en el Congreso, luchando por todos nosotros. Tenemos al primer congresista puertorriqueño aquí de Florida, su congresista Darren Soto. Y tenemos a nuestra luchadora, yo de Nueva York. Ella nos representa, la luchadora puertorriqueña en Congreso, Nidia Velázquez.
Buenas tardes, mi gente. Que se sienta, que se sienta, que se sienta los latinos aquí en la Florida, sobre todo en Orlando. ¿Dónde están los boricuas? So here we are with my friend and brother, Darren Soto, to ask every one of you to do more than just voting. When we discuss the issues that matter most to working families and the middle class in America, whether it is access to health care, investment in public education, climate change, we all know that we got to do more than just voting. We need to knock on doors like I was doing yesterday. I was knocking on doors. I didn't know if they were Republicans or Democrats, but I didn't care. I wanted to make my persuasive arguments to get them to vote. But once I started, I said, don't worry, we just moved here from, I don't remember, but they said, we are Democrats, and we are voting Democrats, and we're coming to vote. A young couple with children. My brothers and sisters, make no mistake. Donald Trump wants to distract Americans from issues like health care. Time and again, he and congressional Republicans have tried to take away pre-existing conditions, protections. But you know what? They know what is coming. They know that a blue wave is coming. And they need to know that they are not being fooled by false pretenses and commitments that they're making just now because they're reading the polls. Now, all of a sudden, Rick Scott, the governor of New York, the Republican governor, all of a sudden, he protects pre-existing conditions. But he doesn't tell you that he has a lawsuit in court to take away pre-existing conditions. Ron DeSantis, who is running for governor, in his years in Congress, consistently has voted to repeal Obamacare. So you got an opportunity to say to Ron DeSantis and to Rick Scott, you fooled me once, shame on you. You fooled me twice, shame on us, shame on me. So the other important issue for the people in Florida is climate change. And we know that there is a red tide killing marine life here in Florida. Well, that is why we need a blue wave crashing down on Washington to elect Bill Nelson, someone who cares about the environment. So Donald Trump has said it himself, telling voters that he is essentially on the ballot. Yes, Donald, you are on the ballot. For disregarding your responsibility to the 3.5 fellow American citizens in Puerto Rico. Yes, you are on the ballot. And Puerto Ricanos, now is the time to hold Donald Trump accountable. So the question is, do we want a senator who will stand up to Donald Trump or someone who will rubber stamp his agenda? Do we want a strong, independent senator? Independent voice for Florida, or someone who puts party above all? The choice is clear. Senator Bill Nelson is the voice that Florida needs in the U.S. Senate. But to make that happen, to elect Andrew Gillum, governor of Florida, Bill Nelson to the U.S. Senate. To make that happen, we need your help. We need you and your family, your neighbors, your friends to go to the poll. When we vote, we win. Boricua, echen pa'lante.
Yeah. Gracias, Nidia. Yo soy boricua, para que tú lo sepas. Yo soy boricua. Yo soy hispano, para que tú lo sepas. Yo soy boricua, para que tú lo sepas. Now we know we have seen hate spoke around this country. And there is only one way we could stop the violence. There's only one way we could stop the disrespect. It's by love and by voting. Are you going to go out to vote to make sure we have love return to this country? Let me hear you. If we are going to make sure that for the 3,000 Puerto Ricans who died after Hurricane Maria, after the 7 months without energy, in the dark, these 3,000 souls are crying out for justice. Are you going to vote to make sure that we have justice for those souls we lost in Puerto Rico? Let me hear you. And then for so many cancer patients, our grandmothers and grandfathers, our sisters, brothers, and wives and husbands who have faced pre-existing conditions, are we going to let them die because an insurance company isn't going to cover them? Or do we believe that health care is an American right, it is a human right, and we are going to fight? Let me hear you. And about education, we have heard Andrew Gillum talk about how critical it was for his rise, that education and funding it is critical to the American dream. Are we going to pay our teachers right? Are we going to invest in education? Are we going to give everyone the chance? Let me hear you. Oh, I don't hear you. Let me hear you. And to our brothers and sisters, from caravanas to families that have been separated to dreamers who are fighting to be part of the American dream, are we going to stand with them, or are we going to let this go by the wayside? Let me hear you. Do you stand with our dreamers? Do you stand against family separation? Do you stand for communities of immigrants? I could tell you, Nitty and I were there. We were there when they were fighting for disaster relief for Puerto Rico. And we saw the Congress give zero coming out of the House. But we had a champion in the Senate named Bill Nelson, who fought to get over $20 billion for the island and will keep on fighting. If you support Senator Bill Nelson, want to return him to Washington, let me hear you. If you support health care and higher wages and education, let me hear you. If you support nuestra compañero, nuestra campeón, Bill Nelson, let me hear you. Bring it home. Bring it home. Bring it home. Bring it home. And if we vote for our senator, we will. Thank you, Bill, for being here.
Bless you, God. Yo voy a presentar mi esposa Grace y mi hija Nanellen. You all are here because you know what's at stake. And you know also that our friends, how they've been treated on the island, our fellow American citizens. They have not been treated like other states were treated in the aftermath of a hurricane. You also know that those that had to move from the island to come here and then needed assistance in housing, Darren and I had to keep asking for a continuation, and grudgingly it was given, but at the end of the June, it was cut off. We ask, why don't you use the existing law that was used to help the poor people after Katrina in New Orleans that had to move to Houston, just like the people from Puerto Rico had to move here because of the housing situation. But the administration wouldn't do it. So of all the voters in Florida, Puerto Ricans should understand what is at stake in this election. And aside from the issues with regard to Puerto Rico, Darren and Nydia have just told you, education, health care, the environment, you know what's at stake. Ahora mismo, por favor, en español. Desde el día de mi juramento como un teniente en las Fuerzas Armadas, hasta el día que volé al espacio, hasta hoy en el Senado, es un gran honor para mí, para servicio público. Yo creo que servicio público es una confianza pública. Ahora mismo, yo quiero su voto. Necesito su voto. Le pido su voto. Gracias a todos.
Dale, nene, dale.
Luis, está en el podio el micrófono. Está en el podio. Tiene los pleners de nuevo, tiene los 3 micrófonos otra vez.
Me toma tiempo subir esa escalera. Bueno, ahora de nuevo vamos a celebrar para asegurarnos de que el senador Nelson regrese al Senado. Todo el mundo ya votó aquí. Y quien no ha votado tiene un ratito y a votar. Déjenme presentarles, porque ahora es que se forma el bembé aquí. Les voy a presentar a los bombis de la plena con Boricua Vota para darle la bienvenida a algunas de nuestras invitadas especiales. Vamos a estar seguros de que llegaron y vengan acá con nosotros. Quiero presentarles a América Ferrera, Rosario Dawson, Gina Rodríguez, Zoe Saldana y Eva Longoria.
Boricua vota, Boricua vota, Boricua vota, que es tu derecho. Boricua vota, Boricua vota, Boricua vota, que es tu derecho. Oye, Boricua vota, Boricua vota, Boricua vota, que es tu derecho. Boricua vota, Boricua vota, Boricua vota, que es tu derecho. Oye, Boricua vota, que es tu derecho. Después que no votes, no te salgas por el techo. Boricua vota, Boricua vota, Boricua vota, que es tu derecho. Ya va tu papá, tu mamá, tu abuela y tu abuelo. Boricua vota, que es tu derecho. Boricua vota, Boricua vota, Boricua vota, que es tu derecho. Óyeme muchacho, para la urna tienes que ir derecho. Ya yo voté, yo me siento satisfecho. Boricua vota, Boricua vota, Boricua vota, que es tu derecho. Oye Boricua, yo te invito que salgas a votar, que lleves a todo el mundo, date a respetar. Boricua vota, Boricua vota, que es tu derecho. Ay, que es tu derecho. Ay, que es tu derecho, Boricua. Y los latinos también te digo que es tu derecho. Los cubanos, sal para allá, que es tu derecho. Venezolanos, sal para allá, que es tu derecho. Y los boricuas, ¿dónde están? Que es tu derecho. Dale, dale, vamos para allá, que es tu derecho. Oye, te invito a votar, que es tu derecho. Yo te lo digo, que es tu derecho. Que es tu derecho. Ya yo voté y me siento satisfecho, que es tu derecho. Si no votas, no te salgas por techo, que es tu derecho. Dale, coge uno de los nuestros, que es tu derecho. Oye, sal a votar, que es tu derecho. Qué bonita, qué bonita, qué bonita es la mujer latina. Suelta.
América Ferrera,
qué bonita,
Eva Longoria,
qué bonita es la mujer latina. Qué bonita, qué bonita, qué bonita es la mujer latina. Oye, qué lindas son las mujeres y me fascinan. Y yo me quedo con las latinas. Y qué bonita, qué bonita, qué bonita es la mujer latina. Otra vez, qué bonita, qué bonita, qué bonita es la mujer latina. Oye, qué bonita, te lo digo, me pongo nervioso. No le des al micrófono, que esto es peligroso. Qué bonita, qué bonita, cuidado, qué bonita es la mujer latina. Cuando ella mueve la cadera y la cinturita, se vuelve loco todo el mundo con la mujer latina. Qué bonita, oye, qué bonita, qué bonita es la mujer latina. Oye, siente mi ritmo que a ti te inspira y muévete, muévete, muévete latina. Y qué bonita, qué bonita, qué bonita es la mujer latina. Ay, la mujer latina, la mujer latina. Ay, a mí me fascina la mujer latina. Oye, qué lindo mueve la cintura. señorita.
La mujer latina.
Pero como lo goza la mujer
La
latina.
mujer latina.
Ay, como lo vacila.
La mujer latina.
Pero qué linda y qué bonita son.
La mujer latina.
Oye, nadie me obliga.
La mujer latina.
Yo solo le canto a la mujer latina.
La mujer latina.
Qué bonita es, qué bonita es.
La mujer latina.
Esa es la que a mí me fascina.
La mujer latina.
Latina, 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 latina.
La mujer latina.
Ellas sí votan, van por encima.
La mujer latina.
Ay, qué linda es.
La mujer latina.
Qué bonita, qué bonita, qué bonita la mujer latina.
Good morning, Florida. Buenos días. Buenos días. We are so excited to be here. I'm Eva Longoria, America Ferrera, Zoe Saldana, Gina Rodriguez. Rosario Dawson's on her way. She'll be here any minute. We just want to talk to y'all real quick. And we know we're preaching to the choir here today because y'all are here. Y'all are mobilized. You are ready for this vote, for this midterms. You know, we're here with Latino Victory Project today, which increases Latino political power by supporting progressive Latino candidates and by aggressively opposing those who don't support our values or respect our community. All right? I want to tell y'all, we're under attack. Latinos are under attack. And we need to dedicate a voice in our democracy, and that's what this midterm is about. We have the power to end Trump's agenda against the Latino community. Now, this is nothing new, but y'all know on day one, Donald Trump launched his campaign by attacking Latinos. Day one, first person he attacked, Latinos and immigrants, rapists and criminals. That is not a synonym. So what we're going to do is we got to combat this with all of these wonderful candidates that y'all have here in Florida. So the Latino Victory has been very hard at work. In 2016, during the presidential election, we won 70% of our races that we supported. We helped elect the first Latina U.S. Senator, Catherine Cortez Masto in Nevada. First Latina in the Senate. We helped nominate the first Dominican Senator, Adriano Espaillete, in New York, Dominicano. We helped elect the first Dreamer to Congress, Representative Ruben Cuen of Nevada. And we also, the Latino Victory Fund also helped elect the first Puerto Rican congressman from Florida, Darren Soto. That's right. So, and we just begun. We have just begun, and we need to do it with y'all's help. We're the fastest growing community in the United States, 18% of the national population, 18%, but we're 1% of elected officials. 1% of 500,000 public offices, 1% is held by a Latino. We need a seat at the table, guys. We need a seat at the table. Now, I know there's a lot of Puerto Ricans here. I do want to just mention, you know, a really dear friend of mine, Ricky Martin, told me, you got to bring this up. You got to bring this up for mi gente. And he, you know, nearly a year has passed since Hurricane Maria. And once again, our president has minimized that tragedy, calling the deaths fake news and leading us to believe that Puerto Rican deaths don't matter because they're on the island. Well, I am here to tell you, you do matter, and they do matter. And so I'm asking you, there's a lot at stake this election cycle, but there are nearly 4 million Puerto Ricans on the island who can't vote. So I beg for you to vote on their behalf. Vote in the name of your family, of your familia, of your tíos, of your abuela, of your tías, your abuelos. Your family needs you because what is decided here will definitely affect them on the island. So a lot at stake: healthcare, access to education, voting rights, the environment. A lot of issues on the ballot, but the most important issue on the ballot this midterm is the character of this country and respect. Respect for our community. So I know you guys have a lot of people. I see Boricuas for Gillum. He has the morals and the decency that we deserve as Americans and as Floridians. He has fought hard his whole life to achieve the American dream, and know that he's going to do that for you. We can't afford to have another Trump supporter to govern the largest immigrant state in the country, which is Florida. We can't allow Ron Desastre DeSantis. Desastre. We Latinos are under attack. And the only weapon right now we have is our vote, all right? So, representa Boricua. Thank you so much. I want you guys to give a really big round of applause for an amazing human being, amazing activist, America Ferrera. Gracias, ma'am.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's so amazing to see all of you and your beautiful faces here 2 days before the 2018 midterm elections. And let's be clear about something. The presidential election in 2020 is won in this election. What happens in 2018 determines what happens in 2020, what happens in 2021 when they redraw district lines and decide whether our votes will matter or not. So what is on this ballot in 2018 is our democracy. Is actually on this ballot. And whether or not your vote continues to count is on this ballot. So if we don't use it, we lose it, is what's going to happen in this election. And I see you all here this morning, and I know you're going to vote. There's the early voting site at the, Robert Guevara Community Center. You can walk from here or take a lift from here and vote. But we have to do more than that. You have to vote, but you have to knock on every door you can knock on. Make every call you can. And talk to the people you see every day. Talk to your brothers and your sisters and your tias and your tios and your grandma and your grandpa. There's Rosario Dawson, by the way. Always fashionably late to the party. You have to have the conversations. You have to have the courage to have the conversations with every single person in your life now. Because what's at stake is plain and simply everything. Everything is at stake. Like Eva was saying, respect and dignity are on the ballot. But for our communities, what impacts us every single day of our lives, the air we breathe, the water we drink, our safety to be able to walk down the street without being harassed and intimidated or shot dead. Our ability to feel safe in our neighborhoods because we have people keeping us from gun violence. Florida knows about gun violence. Florida needs to get out and elect representatives who are going to make you safer, make us all safer. If Andrew Gillum is elected governor, overnight, 800,000 more people will have health care. 800,000 people who are sitting at their kitchen tables wondering how they're going to pay for that visit to the doctor, how they're going to pay for their chemo, whether they can decide between the medicine they need or a lunch for their child the next day. These are the decisions that are on this ballot. We don't get to opt in and out of politics. People make decisions every day that impact every move we make. You either get to show up and decide who those people are or not. And that is the bottom line. So we need to be having these conversations with our community because the numbers are there. Black and brown people in this country can determine the direction of this country, but only if we show up. We have to show up. That is the only way democracy works for us. And here in Florida, you all have the ability to vote yes on Amendment 4. That is an amendment that will restore voting rights to 1.4 million Americans who have paid their debt to society and are back trying to build their lives. They deserve their rights to vote. They deserve their constitutional rights back. And there's no surprise that the majority of those 1.4 million Americans are black and brown and Latino. When people ask me, how do I know my vote matters? I say because there are so many people trying to take away your right to vote. That's how you know it matters. Because if we don't show up, the people in positions of power get to stay in power with no accountability. This is when it matters. November 6th, early voting, this election is when we get to say, forget the marching and the screaming and the yelling and the petitions and the signing and the emails and the t-shirts. We're tired of all the damn t-shirts. Like, why we gotta wear t-shirts that say ridiculously obvious things? Like, we're equal, or like, I'm fabulous. We know. Like, why do we have to keep fighting for the most basic things that we have agreed upon? Like, we are equal, and all of our lives matter, and we deserve to live lives of dignity. But the only way that we will have to stop yelling and screaming and shouting to be heard is to show up and vote in people who represent our lives. Then we don't have to yell and scream and shout to be heard, as my dear friend Liza Koshy says. And so this is what's at stake, y'all. We have to put it all out on the line. We don't know what's going to happen in the next 2 years before 2020, but this is our first real chance to put a check on this administration that right now is criminalizing babies and children and mothers and fathers and families who are walking north to find safety. And we have leadership in this country calling them criminals, animals, rapists, and murderers. And we know who they are. They're our family. They're our people. And here's what else I know. Bad things don't have to be happening to us for us to stand up and say those bad things shouldn't be happening. That's what being an American is about. I am the daughter of Honduran parents. I'm sorry I'm not Puerto Rican, but I'm wearing the hoops to compensate. But this is the other thing. Black, brown, Latino, Mexicana, Puerto Rican, Honduran, whatever. We have to stop separating ourselves from each other. That is how they take away our power. They tell us we're different from each other, and they keep our power separate from each other. We have to say no more. We are in this for each other. I'm in this for my black brothers and sisters, for my Muslim brothers and sisters, for my LGBTQ brothers and sisters, for my trans brothers and sisters. I'm here for all of us, because regardless of what's happening in this country, I believe in America. I believe that the America we want to live in is still possible. That's why you're out here, but that's also why we have to get our whole family out. Everyone we know has to get to the polls. So do it, guys, because that's what's at stake, and we got to stand up. So I could go on forever. I'm going to stop. Are we doing Zoe or Rosario in the line? Eva wants me to point out to you that this Latina delegation, we're from all over. Hondureña, Mexicana, Dominicana, Puertorriqueña.
Puertorriqueña y cubana también.
Cubana, yes, all of it. We're all here because we know how fabulous Latinas are. We know how phenomenal we are. And also, in all of our industries, in our schools, certainly in our industry, we're not encouraged to bring our power together, to stand up together. And that's what we're doing here today. We said, why are we out here all scrounging, trying to get our voices heard over each other? We come together, we're stronger. We stand up together. So now it's my deep, deep honor to turn the mic over to my sister. Which one of my sisters? Zoe. Zoe Saldana, give it up.
Thank you. Hola a todos. Hola a todos. Les voy a hablar en español, les voy a hablar en inglés, because that is who we are. We are a melee of stories that came here to this nation for better opportunities. Where would I be today if it wasn't for my grandmother? 1961, Trujillo is assassinated. A dictator that took away the rights of so many Dominicans and antagonized the nation for over 30 years is finally gone. My grandmother, as a single mother, came here for better opportunities, worked in factories for 25 years. And you know what she did? She taught us to vote. She taught us she doesn't speak English, but she votes. If you run, she will vote for you. This is exciting. We are excited to be here today. I'm emotional because this means a lot. I left my 3 sons at home to be here with you because you matter. Because your voices matter. Because the integrity of our community needs to be respected. Because we are decent people that work. We take care of our elderly. We take care of our children. We take care of our communities. And we love America. And it is about time that we invested in candidates that love us back. So I see a lot of young faces in the audience today. If you're a millennial or a Gen Z, let me hear you right now. You are amazing. Seriously, I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of you because you did what has never been done before. You made voting cool. I see you guys on social media posting voter participation information, helping people find their polling stations, sharing information about candidates. You made voting cool. Young people, especially young Latinx people, understand that voting in every election is more than just a civic duty. This is how we take control of our own circumstances. This is how we get rid of the leaders in government that mischaracterize us. And we elect new leaders that truly represent us, leaders that look like us. Diversification in the boardroom. The gatekeepers need to be diverse. That's what we need to do. Leaders that understand that there is great diversity within our community and there is great power in unity. We are united by shared values like family, community, and work ethic. You made voting cool because you get it. You know how important this election is. But you know who still needs help and some motivation? Our parents. Our abuelos. I mean, I see a lot of abuelitos here. I see a lot of parents here. Thank you for being here. But we still need aunts, uncles, neighbors, our friends. They're the ones that need to be informed. For decades, the Latinx generations above you have had the lowest voter participation rate of any demographic. In 2016, only 47% of eligible Latinx voters cast a ballot. Less than half. I know we can do better. I'm not going to ask you to vote because I know you are already going to do that. Out of 27 million eligible Latinx voters in the United States, 44% are millennials or younger. Of course you're going to vote. Just the fact that you're here today and this rally is a testament to progress in our community. So this is what I'm going to ask of you all today. When you go to the polls, bring your family. Bring your neighbors. Bring your tios, tias, cousins. Bring your nannies too. Bring your teachers. Bring your enemy. Coño. Our country is at a crossroads. We are experiencing a constitutional crisis, and it affects every single person in America. Our administration wants to end birthright citizenship, erasing the 14th Amendment. Our Constitution was made to support and encourage immigrant families in search of freedom to come to this country and invest in the great American experience. Who are we to deny that right to anybody? Who are we? This attempt to violate the Constitution is an attempt to revoke the American dream. And tragically, it is only one example of recent attempts to undermine minority and immigrant communities in America. But we're not going to let that happen. We are not. We will confront these injustices and we will go to the polls because we are a great community. We have not let adversity inhibit us. In fact, we have been prevailing and excelling because of our adversities. Latinx high school graduation rates are at the highest they've ever been. Over the past 2 decades, Latinx college enrollment has increased by 180%. Latinx entrepreneurs are starting businesses at double the rate of the average American. Latinx women specifically start businesses at 5 times the rate of the general population. That is amazing. We are a powerful asset to this nation, and we need our voices to be heard. We need to vote. If you're going to take my taxes, then you're going to take my vote. I'm asking you to have a meaningful conversation with your family and your community about our political circumstances and the significance of this election today, right now. Podemos hacerlo, podemos cambiar nuestra nación. Este país es de aborígenes. Este país nos perteneció siempre. Own your land. Own your tierra, es tu tierra. Gracias. Y aquí les traigo a una mujer excepcional, Rosario Dawson, everybody.
Okay. I get the privilege of introducing her, but not before I say a little something. Isn't this amazing? Isn't this beautiful? See, that's what keeps missing from the discourse, is our beauty. We're so antagonized every single day. We're stuck in the space of survival. And right now, what we have right now on the cell phones and this beautiful park, where so many of us wouldn't have been allowed to actually play and enjoy ourselves as women, as people of color. What's missing right now is the celebration of our ancestry. The sacrifices that they went through so that we could be here today. The privilege that it is to go, meh, I'll sit this one out. 40 million Democrats didn't participate in the last election, all going, it's just one vote. What I really need you to understand and how we need to change that conversation is to recognize it's only one vote. I only have one vote. And that's why I came here, so I could implore you to vote for me here. Because I don't live here in Florida. I live in California. I'm from New York. I just came from Georgia for Stacey Abrams running for governor. She'd be the very first Black woman ever elected as governor. And when you understand how deplorable that is on both sides, both parties, that this is the first time a Black woman's ever even been nominated for that position. And it's 2018. There's a lot of glass ceilings that we still have to break through. And we have the opportunity to do that because we're doing it with love. We're doing it with the joy and the understanding that we get to do this, that this gets to be our fight, that we show up and we rally our community and we show up in droves with dates, with some food, with some friends, with some great conversation to go and exercise our right to vote for what we want and what we believe in. So we can bring celebration to this country. So we can bring our culture of love and family and community to this country in a way that is not being recognized and is not being understood as the tenets of what is going to make this country continue to grow and be beautiful and wonderful in the future to come. I have a 15-year-old. She's in high school. She's not really interested in being a speaking head pundit, shockingly. She's like, go ahead, mommy, you do that. She wants to sing and she wants to dance. And that's okay, because that's what she deserves to be able to do. Because so many people that look like us didn't get to just go, that's what I want to do. They had to do anything and everything but just to survive. And the fact that I can provide that for her, my great-grandmother coming from Puerto Rico, she worked for the Ladies International Garment Workers Union. My grandmother used to go and translate the pamphlets from Spanish to English to get more of the community involved. She used to bring my mother in tow, and my mother brought me. And that's how we do. So I still bring my girl, and she is going to vote. She might not necessarily be up here, but maybe she'll perform. And that's beautiful, because we all have something to contribute. Not all of us are going to run for office, though you should consider it. Very much so. But you also need a team. And it's all those people who are canvassing, who are phone banking, who are making sure and galvanizing the vote that really make all of those powerful elected officials something that can really represent us. And the thing is, the rhetoric is so nasty and so disgusting, and we are so in trauma, generationally so, that we can't be motivated. That's not motivating. I don't want to be in upset and anger. That makes me want to shut down. And that's why we have to bring love into this conversation and recognize what's missing is that beauty, that power, that love, that racas, like, yes, that's what we bring. We should be salsaing to the freaking polls. Perdón. That's, when you look at our representation, They're pushing back against us, right? And why are they doing that? Because the numbers we keep pushing and we keep talking about, they're looking at too. So don't get it twisted. It's not just racism, though it is. It's not just racism to say, no, if you're born here of undocumented parents, you can't become a citizen. That's not the only reason why they're doing that. They're doing that because they know in just the Latino community alone that 1 million Latinos turn 18 and become a voting age every year in this country. So they know they are being pushed out. And they don't like that. That's so funny too, because in the history of it, they did that to the natives. They did that to so many other people who came here, and now when it's their turn to have a population that pushes them out, they're going to try to change the rules so that it doesn't happen for them. But too bad. Because even though these documents were created not necessarily thinking of women and thinking of people of color and thinking of our LGBTQ people, just because it wasn't originally there, these are people who had slaves who wrote a lot of these documents, right? But the knowledge that we were able to pull out of it, as we were able to eke, not just in survival, but start going to school, start occupying spaces that they never wanted us to have. You know what? Generation after generation after generation. My mom was a teenage mom, and now I'm standing here in front of you, able to raise my daughter, right? And push for all of us to go and vote. That's not something she was thinking about when she was 17 and alone and scared. But that is the future that we grew into, because that is the power that we have that is fueling this moment. And it is bigger than someone who's just trying to look after their legacy, who's thinking that they don't have to ever answer to the misogyny and the racism and the bigotry that had put them into the power that they're in right now. They are aging out, and they don't get to do it humbly and nicely. We're calling them out for exactly who they are, for the blood that's on their hands and the trauma that they have inflicted, and they're going out with that scorn. And we are replacing them because we have looked at their record, and it is not good enough. It is not good enough. And guess what? We have some really wonderful people that can take their place. Absolutely. And so it's our time now. We are reclaiming our time right now. And it is a powerful and beautiful thing. So I'm going to really need you. Who's voted already? Who's voted early? Look at you. How gorgeous is that? Okay, so there are other folks who could vote early. You can do that by 7 p.m. tonight. But also we need folks to be coming and showing up and voting on Tuesday. So again, I'm only one vote. I need you. And I need you to put a face to our democracy, because it's not just our elected officials. It's all of you who go and knock on those doors and say, hi, I care about our community. Do you? Can we sit down and talk? Do you have your ballot? Is it a little confusing? Can I help you with this? Are you not sure about this person? I can give you some information. Because that's what we really need to do. It's all those little small things that make the difference. Just like we see the microaggressions on the other side is what can really take us down. We need to have that love, that beauty, that passion, that human contact, not just in our phones, but door to door. It's this little small acts. That's what my great-grandmother did. That's what my grandmother did. That's what my mom did. And that's what I'm hoping that I can inspire you to continue to do, because you've already made your vote, so many of you. We need more. And that's why we're all here, because we voted too. But we need to do more. It's not enough just to say we voted. It's how many other people we got to vote with us. So own this election. It's yours. Own this election. It is yours. And understand that all the benefits that come down the line from that elected official who will now actually represent us, because they come from our communities, they've actually knocked on all those doors and actually met everybody. Andrew Gillum's a wonderful man. And when you hear him speak, he's not like the opponent talking about, I just want to represent the people I feel like. Well, you know, when a storm hits, it hits everyone. And we need someone to actually be here who's going to represent everyone and help us all see a shinier and brighter day. So thank you for being part of that team. We love you. We are here with you. Gracias por todo. And now for our other phenomenally Latina woman, Gina Rodriguez.
¡Hey! ¡Qué bonita bandera! ¡Qué bonita bandera! ¡Qué bonita bandera! La bandera puertorriqueña. Woo! This can all
bring me to tears, y'all. I'm sitting back there like biting the inside of my mouth not to cry, and of course I grab the mic and I'm the first one to tears. Well, thank God I got to cry a lot on my TV show. I'm here because my grandmother in Santurce can't be. I'm here because of my cousins in Ponce. I'm here because of my cousins in Caguas, in Bayamon. 1.2 million Puerto Ricans came over here after Hurricane Maria. We need to make sure that our elected officials take care of our island, y'all. Because nobody else is. Because the administration didn't. Didn't for a second. Puerto Ricans died because of a lack of access to health care, medication, and clean water. They died because of untreated heart and liver disease. They died because there was no electricity in the hospitals. They died because of bacterial infection they contracted while trying to find sources of clean water. All of these deaths were preventable. That is the tragedy. These citizens died because their government refused to help them. So we can't let this happen anymore. Anymore. Yes. And I know it seems helpless, and I know it seems so big because it does for me. At times, I feel like I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. So I try. So I come out with my sisters, and I listen to them, and I take their guidance. And then I stand up here with shaky hands, just thinking, man, I get it. It's scary. I get it. It feels helpless. I get it. It feels like a lot. And when you feel that way, know that when you vote, you smashed all of that fear. You just took it right down. When you vote for men like Andrew Gillum, who supported efforts and will continue to support relief in Puerto Rico. When you vote for which is our first Puerto Rican congressman in Florida, Darren Soto, come on now. It's about damn time. When we have elected officials that are protecting our family members back in the island, that's when we know we did something. And we can do that by voting on Tuesday. I have incredible parents. My father was a union rep for Teamsters, and when I was 13 years old, I remember being at a negotiation with him, and he's sitting there with a Latina mother of, I can't recall how many children, but I'm a child of 4, and I know it was around the same. And he's standing there, and he's across with the business owners, and he's saying there is no right for you to take this away from her, no right to take her job. She has children she needs to help. She needs children she needs to feed. And I'm staring at my father thinking, he doesn't know this woman. What is he doing? He's screaming, he's yelling, his fists are pounding on the table. And when it was all said and done, she got her job back, and I walked away, and I sat in the car, and I said, Dad, why did you do that? That was incredible. You could have lost your job. And he said, I did it because you have to be a voice for the voiceless. And I said, well, God willing, one day I could do the same thing, Dad. So we're going to do that. We're going to do that on Tuesday. We're going to be a voice for the voiceless. We're going to be a voice for all of our brothers and sisters in Puerto Rico, here in Florida, because we can make the change. So they should be afraid. They should be. And let's let them see how afraid they will be in 2020 when we take this state, back. I am so proud of every single one of you out here because, like my sister said, we're preaching to the choir, but go out. Find someone that hasn't voted. Take them. Be like, I'll ride the bus with you. Let's go. Make it a date. Let's go to the voting polls, y'all. Let's do this. Let's do this for our future children. Let's do this for our elderly. Let's do this for our brothers and sisters in Puerto Rico. And let's do this because when somebody says it'll never change, that's the mentality, is the reason why it hasn't. It will change when you vote. So let's make a change, a real big change. I love y'all. Thank you so much. I am so proud of each and every one of you. Thank you for blessing us here today. Can I get my drums? You have to introduce RJ. No, we're going to take a picture and then I introduce RJ? Or should I? RJ first? Yeah, do we introduce RJ first? Okay. Well, I'll introduce RJ to this beautiful banda paranda. So I have the beautiful blessing of introducing RJ Gillum, is the wife of Mayor Andrew Gillum. She's a graduate of Florida A&M University and HBCU in Tallahassee, Florida, where she majored in biology with the goal of attending dental school. While she ultimately did not become a dentist, RJ did continue working in health. She was a Florida gubernatorial. Oh, I definitely screwed that up. Where she did work in the Florida Department of Health, where she worked on the oral health safety net. After the fellowship, RJ continued her career in government, working for the Chief Financial Officer of Florida, Alex Sink. She served as the Director of Appointments until Alex Sink left the office of CFO to run for governor. RJ has devoted the last couple of years raising her 3 children, 2 twins and a toddler. It is my great honor to introduce RJ Gillum. Yes! Yes! Oh, you're awesome.
Hi! How excited are you guys today, right? In 2 more days, we are going to make history. We are going to send a message that will reverberate all over the state of Florida and all over the United States, right? So how many folks have already voted? Oh, that's awesome. Now listen, this is what I need your help with, because today's the last day for early voting, right? So for all of you all that have voted, I need your help, because Andrew Gillum is someone who is going to change the state of Florida for the better, and he's going to change it for all of us, right? Not just some of us, because Andrew truly believes that when he does well, we all do well, right? We're not going to listen to all the divisive politics that's coming out of our nation's capital that are telling us that just because someone looks different from us, or was born somewhere different, or loves differently, or worships differently, that they deserve less in this land of the free, right? We all do well when we all do well. We are all our brothers and our sisters' keepers, and we will continue to work to show those people who do not have our same morals and values that we're going to put the power back into the hands of the people, right? And the best way to have a voice is through our vote. So what I need all of you all to do, everyone that's already voted, I need you to help me today. I want you to call everyone that you know, ask them, have you voted yet? Because you've still got time until 7 o'clock. We don't want them to wait until Tuesday, okay? But just in case there are some that miss it, I need your help Tuesday. I need you to knock on doors. I need you to get in your cars and help drive people to the polls. Look online, because we have companies that are offering free rides to the polls. It is so important. This is the most important election of our lifetime. Do you all understand what I'm saying? It's the most important election of our lifetime, and we cannot afford another 4 years of what we've had. Can y'all hear me? We cannot afford another 4 years of what we've had. So all of this energy, you guys, this energy out here is amazing. All the energy that you have, I need you to transfer it into every person you know that says, my voice won't count. My vote doesn't matter. You've got to help them understand that it does. Because when you elect a person like Andrew Gillum, he understands how important it is to support public education, because 90% of our kids go to school there. He understands that we have to pay teachers what they're worth, right? He understands that we have to support everybody, not just the wealthy and the well-connected. We must support all of our neighbors in everything we do. So I want to thank you all. I see all the signs. I want you to know that we feel your love. We are crisscrossing this state. Andrew is the hardest working person I know. He comes from humble beginnings in Miami, Florida. And he made his way up to Gainesville and then college in Tallahassee. And he truly believes that he is the best person to represent all the people of the state of Florida. There will be no one left behind if you all send him to Tallahassee. Just know that it's not just his name on the ballot. It's your name on the ballot. It's your name on the ballot. It's your name. It's your name. It's all of your children's names and your children's children. That's who's on the ballot when you vote for Andrew Gillum. Because you need to know that every decision he makes will be on your behalf and on their behalf. If he doesn't win, we'll be fine. The Gillums will be fine. It is all of our children, all of the people who are living in poverty and can't afford to make ends meet, all of our neighbors who don't have health care. Those are the people we must fight for and stand in the gap for. So I thank you guys for being engaged, for understanding the importance of this election. Just like Gina said, we are going to send a message on Tuesday that is going to be heard around the world, right? Because the reason they're so scared is because they know they are about to lose their power. Because the power is coming back to the people, and we will show them that on Tuesday, November 6th. So please know that Andrew and I are grateful, and we love you more than we could ever express in words. Your prayers, your energy, it keeps us going. It does not matter how tired we are. We will continue to fight for all of you as long as there's breath in our body. So I want to thank you for having me, and I look forward to seeing all of you all in Tallahassee at the inauguration, right? Thank you so much. Bring it home. Bring it home. Bring it home.
Okay, I hope everybody was inspired by today's program. La inspiración para hoy a todas estas personas que están comprometidas con nuestra democracia, que quieren aumentar el nivel de participación. So I'm going to introduce now our partner here in Florida, who is going to introduce all of the elected officials that have joined us here today, who's going to talk about the different partner organizations that made today happen. This is all about coalition building and working together. Marco